Hey everybody, it's time for the state of the meta. Stick around. My fellow card fighters, from time to time, we have to look back and see where we've come as a community and as a game. More specifically, a game. I don't really care about us as a community. That's not true. But as a game, comes time to time where we have to analyze and peer upon ourselves where we've come as a game. Now, we stood in my living room practically about 6 months ago, and we called the meta weak. And it was. Meta was terrible. So let's take a gander back 6 months ago, roughly around December 31st. Where were we as a game and as people? So, Ryan, what stood as the strongest deck in Vanguard 6 months ago?
What do you think? Royal Paladins.
Royals demanded the attention of the meta, as well as Shadows. And really, that was about it. Everything else kind of sat on the pooper of what is the Vanguard train.
Damn.
It was really just, and it wasn't that those decks were bad. It was that those decks were slow. Ungodly slow. And it was to a state, Cogro was non-existent.
I like to think it was... No, it wasn't good.
Aquaforce was there and present, but just this too slow. Angel Feathers 6 months ago was nothing.
Nope.
Grand Boost 6 months ago, also nothing. Great Nature, good, but just this low. I don't think Link Joker was out yet. In fact, I know Link Joker wasn't out yet. So, Link Joker was only Messiahs. Couldn't stop the St. Guard train. Couldn't stop the Shadow train. The only deck that could call Royals out was Shadows. That's because Shadows was the only deck that could draw as fast as
Royals could break
burn.
the cards down.
Yep. So, but enough about 6 months ago. What's happened to our game in 6 months? Well, some big things have happened. One, a lot of clans have gotten support that desperately needed it. Grand Blue, Pale Moon,
Angels.
CBD.
Yay!
A lot of clans got some serious level of support, which was great. And that really helped us open up the meta somewhat. But the key instrument was actually Bushiroad's direct result of an active Bushiroad, which, thanks, Bushiroad. You won't hear that often. So,
Yay!
Roughly into the first quarter, we were introduced to a new mechanic, G guarding. And
Ryan was right. Play the music. I love playing music for that.
Confetti comes down. So, and what happened is we were now introduced to this new mechanic that allows us to get to G-Break 2 essentially faster, which was the best G-Break to be at. And that is what really just took the meta and cracked it open. Along with that, we finally had decks that kind of was returned to a different age, where like, because Vanguard overall over the last 2 years has become incredibly rearguard centric, and Vanguards are becoming not as overpowered as they used to be to a certain extent.
I disagree.
And the Legend is good. Nahallams are better.
That's true.
Nahallams are what's closing to the game, not the Legend, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's the rear guards. It wasn't just the power from Regale. It was the Beanon and the Twin Sword that ended your life. It was rarely ever my first swing of the Regale that you were like, "Oh, I'm dead." No, it was usually the fourth Twin Sword that looked at you and said. So what ended up happening is we saw decks that were able to use this rear guard mechanic and yet not expose themselves to the weaknesses of having a rearguard-centric deck. I'm looking at you, Grand Blue. Grand Blue, I want to say, gets the award at the State of the Meta for most improved, right beside Angel Feathers.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Angel Feathers and Grand Blue get most improved.
I would definitely give it to Grand Blue, hands down.
Grand Blue, you were in the trenches. You were in the dirt. You were worse than the dirt. And they really jumped up and showed us some serious shit. I was skeptical. I still am sometimes skeptical. But that deck, when it shows up, can show up. And the same thing can be said about our good friend, No Seals. Woohoo! When that deck shows up and goes off, you're looking at lines God himself would be terrified of.
Hello.
It's not good. But it is good, that's the point. And so they get most improved. A nice welcome return, Kagero.
It's good to be back, Jose.
How's it feel, Ryan? Tell me how does it feel to be finally in the world of meta again?
You tell me how it feels.
You got the legend. You got a whole new set of support on the horizon with good stuff. It wasn't like GBT03 support, which is trash.
Spoof.
You finally got some. It's been 4 sets.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time coming. But you feel good.
Oh yes.
You feel nice and spicy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Shadows once they got the legend deck plus GBT03.
Yeah, that's exactly how you are. You're finally.
So now we're better.
And we've also got. It's Atmal's time to shine in the world, believe it or not.
Vanguard.
Vanguard's finally put to his grave for a little while. Think Saber will be still a deck. It will always be a deck. It is not bad. But I think this is finally Atmal's chance to just say, I can run the late game and the mid game and still have a decent early game. And that's what you want out of a good deck is all 3 phases.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think most consistent goes to either Aquaforce. Like most consistent as that 6 months ago they were here and now they're here. Which no change. And
we still had Ripple 6 months ago.
That's true. Oh, yes, true. So they did take a dip.
But they dipped into Blue Wave, which is entirely different.
Which was still good.
Ridiculously strong.
Yeah, so I'm saying they haven't really seen that rough of a time. Also, Great Nature was pretty substantially good. It was fine then. The only problem with that deck was that it was a GB2 style deck. And it's now totally viable because they got a good G-Guardian in Fighters Collection.
And they have a new keyword. Success!
Success!
That is the best keyword ever.
As a note to how we feel about the meta, let me just say this. Our good old boy, the Doombringer Griffin, has been doing a lot of trading here recently and recalibrating our sets and stuff like that. And I guess we'll have to do a little bit of explaining after I explain this. Ryan did a deck count for how many decks we currently have that we would consider playable in competitive format. Correct?
Sort of. I did include some decks that were, I think the lowest tiered thing we own is Metal Borgs.
Token Rambu.
Token Rambu's stronger than Metal Borgs.
No, it's not.
Yes,
you want to get those cards out right now?
Yes. Beat your ass at Token Rambu.
So, but what was the count?
24.
24 playable decks. That also includes over multiple decks. So multiple clans.
Some are different builds of the same clan in the same pile of cards. For example, we have 2 Kagero decks, but we don't have 2 separate Aquaforce decks we can play. We need some of the Strides, or for example, if we wanted to play... Oh, what's a good example? We can't play any of the road decks against each other because we only have so many Strides or Perfect Guards.
Those cards are expensive.
Yes.
But we could in fact build all 24 of these men, and they include Angel Feathers, Great Nature, Grand Blue. No, we don't have Grand Blue. That's the only one we don't have Grand Blue.
That's
really.
pretty much the only super meta deck we don't own.
Yeah, so we definitely have No Seals. We have Great Nature. We have Gear Chronicle. We have Vortimer. We have Revengers. We have MMO Thingsaber. We have Atmile. We have Saint Guard. We have
Kagero and Kagero.
Kagero and Kagero. Both the End and the Cross Legend and the Great Legend if we wanted to. We have Token Rambu. We have Metaborgs, D-Robos, and Cosmic Heroes ready for the next set. Bluish Flames as well. Mm-hmm. We have whatever we need because we don't know really where the meta is shifting.
It better not be Pale Moon, or I'm going to be sad.
But we have what we need, really, to test what we need to test. And then here comes the comments of flowing. Then why do we always see you guys play Royals, Shadows, Deep Lease? Oh, Nova Grapplers. We have Nova Grapplers.
That's true.
And Nova Grapplers is also a deck that has stayed consistently powerful for the entire
I
time.
would give that most consistent, actually, Nova Grapplers.
Yeah, because
they didn't get anything, and they've been happy about it.
Well, they did get some stuff here recently.
Yeah, they got some stuff recently, and they've shown up a little more, but really, that was that. Like, they would have been perfectly happy without those.
They were wrestling people before, they're wrestling people now. And it's just... Okay, where did I go off the top of there? I was talking about...
Why do we always play Royals, Shadows, and Kagero?
Videos, and occasionally, Deep Lease or Kagero, or Nova Grapple, stuff like that, is because it takes us quite a lot of these decks have been recently acquired. No Seals has been recently built. Great Nature literally just arrived on our doorstep the other day.
Yay!
Token Rambu was a recent addition.
Goodbye, OTT!
Gear Chronicle we've had for a while, but it is not an easy deck to master, in my opinion.
The thing is, we also play what we typically know best
CBD.
in tournament, because we can only bring one deck. If I can bring 3 decks myself, you'll betcha it's like a straight Hearthstone edition. You bet you'd see some of these other crazier decks. That would be something to do. Have a crazy Hearthstone format? Ooh.
Salty.
Ideas for Nate.
But the point is, we are going to get these other decks out there in videos, but we got to learn them first and learn them enough where I feel confident. Because we've done the thing where we've played decks we've just built
in tournament and just see how it goes.
Not just tournament, on camera. I mean, like we've literally in the infancy of Team Absolution almost 2 years ago. Wow. There were times where it was like, we just built Rebirth. Let's do it on camera. The flames of the comments destroying us.
I can't believe you guys misplayed. I trusted you.
And so now we try our best not to play or hey, I just built this. Let me test it on camera.
No, we should have put it. This is a test. Please don't flame us.
This is the universal test of the Cardfight system.
I'm gonna need you to not.
It's just so yeah, but we have all these decks because we don't know where the demand is shifting, and we think that it's going to include a lot of viable decks.
Wow, we forgot 2 whole... I mentioned 2 Aquaforce decks.
You did earlier, but I didn't mention them on my count. So we have 2 Aquaforce decks.
I can pull up the list.
We technically have 3 Shadow Paladin builds.
Yep.
We have
2 decks.
We have 3 decks. We also have the jank Overlord build I built a while back.
I didn't
count that. I wouldn't either.
I didn't count that.
But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of options that we have available to us.
Pulling up the list just for funsies.
As playable.
We forgot Mega Colony. And
Jewel
Knights. And
Chaos Breaker.
They said that. Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
I also have like 2 different builds of Angel Feathers. We have a lot of decks.
So it's because we don't know where it's going, and we think that for you guys as players, this is. So I'm going to end this. Where is the state of the meta today? The state of the meta is strong, and by strong as I mean, this is a great time for new players. So if you got friends at your shops,
I'm going to amend that. This is a great time for new players with deep pockets.
Oh, that's a whole other thing in state of the meta we need to approach. Forget everything. The state of the meta is strong, but let's the second half of this discussion.
So let's say you're a player with Grand Blue Novas, Kagero, Gear Chronicle, any Royal build, now not Vanguard. So let's say you have Alt Vial or something like that. You have Shadows, you have Aquaforce. You are good to go. You can just Pale Moon. You can just cruise right on through the Angel Feathers. You can cruise right on through the next Deep Police. You can cruise right on through the next set and be like, we are good to go. That's 10 whole decks I mentioned. Multiple builds of these are viable, and you're good to go. If you already have one of those decks. If you are a new player, I am sorry, because now to play optimally, you need to fill up not only the deck before that usually features older cards, because honestly most of the good cards that you need now are strides. That's where a lot of the power in the sets is coming from. I'm barely changing my main deck for any of these new cards. I just need Blade Masters and G Guardians, and those are going straight in the extra deck, and I'm barely changing my build whatsoever.
Even Cosmic Heroes, I just had the old Cosmic Hero stuff, which is praise be that we had that deck.
Exactly. It's just old stuff that's getting better and getting more expensive as you can't buy the boxes at profitable value anymore. Those singles are now really expensive as X-Tiger jumps up higher and higher, and Grand Gallop is now, ooh, here we go. And you can't, you have to buy those cards as singles. And then you have to buy the increasing G deck, which now the players who have these decks already are driving up the demand, there goes the price, and now you're sad.
And the supply of some of these strides just don't exist because of the boxes issue. Whereas now, like Outmiles, Divine Knight Outmile, the first stride.
That was fun to get.
Like, that was, not only was that hard to get, but it's
still expensive.
It's expensive, and now that's
a staple in every room.
It was hard to get when there were people only running 2 of in each deck. But now everyone has to run 4 of in each deck. And so it's like, it's 2 more whole ones that to find from someone else who's willing.
2 more whole ones, I'll say.
It's 2 more whole ones that have to go find from someone who's still willing to let go of 2 they own. It's a a harder sell. And prices have just, from 6 months ago, the most expensive deck was Abyss. Bar none, most expensive deck in Vanguard. Mm-hmm. Now, Thingamabob's pricey to build because Blaster Blades are extremely expensive.
Thing Savers are expensive.
Thing Savers are expensive. Legion Red Thing Savers are a huge investment I made a year and a half ago.
Before we go all into this, Brax and I are working on a little pet project of ours. We're going to talk about the most budget meta build that we can find. We're not talking like if you want to play Vanguard and you want to be semi-competitive, what can I throw together? No, we're talking what is the cheapest optimal meta other people are playing this to build that exists, because a lot of people ask, what's the cheapest deck I can build to be competitive? We're trying to answer that question. But as a tangent to that, or as a byproduct of that, we're also going to find out which deck is now the priciest.
I'm going to shoot and say your Chronicle will be the priciest deck to build, competitively speaking.
I might agree with you. We will see.
I think your Chronicle will be the most expensive. This is my prediction. I'm not part of your pet project. I didn't even know it existed. I'm super excited to hear it.
Ooh,
I think that will be the most expensive. I think some form of Great Nature will be one of the cheapest.
I disagree. Have you seen Binoculars?
Oh, shit. Do you have the Binoculars?
It's a good card. Crayons are expensive. Maybe are expensive.
Genesis? No.
Genesis. I wouldn't even list them right now. We got a question that says, "What can I do to make Genesis a tier 1 list?" And I'm tempted to answer, wait.
Patience. Setting is coming, maybe. Then I don't know, man. No Seals are pricey. Granblue's pricey. Granblue, maybe.
And granted, most of the cards are common or new, and so it might not be too bad, but we'll find out. We will find out.
But either way, one negative of having the game increase in multiple deck viabilities is now the price increase has expanded to all decks. Now all decks are making. Are we approaching higher levels of prices per deck? Absolutely.
Yes, just simply because, if nothing else, the number of cards that you now have to buy, most of which are foil, have increased.
Are we approaching Yu-Gi-Oh levels? Not yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there, but it's not still there. It's not 1K for an extra deck unless you play Gear Chronicle maybe, and you want the full SPs. But then going vanity, and I can't help.
That's all Yu-Gi-Oh is vanity.
You're not wrong.
Hey, that was a joke about vanity.
Can I get the ultimate rare of everything, please? Can I pull out my deck?
You haven't seen the generic Yu-Gi-Oh trade group friend, though. I want all of us in highest rarity because nothing else matters. I'm not going to be caught with my ultra unlimited editions.
It's, the price has been probably the downfall of our meta, but the answer to this question is, where does the meta stand? The meta's strong. It's a good time from a player's perspective outside of money to get in. Like, if you've got friends with some decently deep politics, or you've got 8 decks lying around.
Like us.
And you want to teach people how to play, you want to get them in, you want to entice them, this is that time.
Now you have something for everybody again.
Yeah, everyone, like, what do you like to do? Like, you literally now ask your...
Like, how could you get asked that question?
What do you like to do in a game? Like, oh, I like to res dudes from the drop zone. Granblue, it's like, oh, is it competitive? You're damn right it is. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I like to combo and heal. which they wouldn't say that. Well, they might say like life gain or something. You know, here's angels. Boom, take it. Is it competitive? Hell yeah, it is. I like to stun people. Get the fuck out of my store.
I want my opponents to not play the game. Well, boy, do we have a door for you. That one over there.
I like to lock my opponents. I like to control my opponents. Here, what do you want, Kagero or Link Joker? Have fun.
Take your pick.
You got options. You've got options. And that's the best thing you want in a meta is options. Any closing thoughts on the state of the meta?
Go Kagero. Kagero is best. All of the nations are equal in worth. But fire is the best!
So, let us know down in the comments what you guys think of our state of the meta. What do you think is going to shine going into set 7? What do you think is going to be the underdogs? What do you
Are
think
you mad at us
on?
that we don't own Pale Moon? Post below.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this. We'll do another state of the meta in 6 months, December. Who knows? Who really knows?
Who really knows?
Because, I mean, there's a...
Guys, Genesis. It's coming.
There's a Roomy Labyrinth set.
What is that?
That's the 2 idol, like, think ultra rare, but for them, for the series, for G, they're getting their own set.
Oh.
And it's going to be, I think, Pale Moon and Grand Blue Focus.
Oh God, they don't need more things!
It's also the 2 decks we don't own.
Oh no! I was saying, go find me a Grand Blue deck stack!
eBay! Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time with the Absolution. Peace.